welcome back to the channel. You may ask, hey Joe, what are you doing? Driving your car. We're going racing. Okay, here we are. One day till race day. You're like, Joe, is this a repeat from the last weekend? No. New race. So I'm getting the car ready for race day. Like, no big deal, right? Last race was canceled. The car's pretty much ready. In a normal weekend, that would be the case. This weekend, not so much. So the race is a local race in Hobbs, New Mexico. It's just a few hours away. I wanted to go there and get some data and see what we can do. They got a great street class that I'm going to be in. DOT tire, everything, like my car fits perfect the street class. So let's go over there, do some testing, get some data, and see if we can't go some rounds. The kicker here is it's a no prep race. Now, Joe, really? You got no prep? A lot of you may not know, actually, I no prepped race first. Like when I first got into competitive racing, I did no prep racing first. I had a Corvette, power glide swap, blower, great car. Well, those have the transmission on the rear. So the real weight bias to the rear, they're like 50-50. So they make great no prep cars. So my first 2 years of competitive racing was no prep racing, actually. No prep was really hot back then. So I did it. It did really good too. I forget the statistics. Like, I think I did 17, 18 races with that car and got into the finals like 15 or 16 times. So I was pretty successful with that car. The Trans Am, no prep was kind of dying out, and the Trans Am just really wasn't set up for it. The Trans Am was super nose heavy, and it just didn't no prep well. So I did more radial racing with it, put a legit motor in it, and went really fast. This car, believe it or not, is actually set up pretty good for no prep. It's got a lot of weight on the rear. It's got the light aluminum motor in it, so there's not a lot of weight on the front. The rear end's got the rear radiator, big fuel cell back there, the fuel pump, everything's back there. So this car's actually set up what I think would be good for no prep racing. I haven't really done any no prep with it. I've done the Amarillo races, which is practically a no prep with it. I've always kind of struggled. We're high altitude here as well. So this car used to struggle getting up on the two-step and building boost on the trans brake. I made the switch over to Hughes, has no more problems like that. I also got some dump valves now that I could use if I needed to, don't need to yet. So, I mean, long story short, I'm going no prep racing. I'm gonna take you along for what it takes to make all the changes to go no prep racing. It's not just a little bit, there's a lot. So, hang tight, we're gonna go through the whole car, get it ready for the no prep, and we got 1 day. So I'm out of time in normal fashion. I've been waiting on parts all week. I still haven't gotten parts. I've like overnighted parts after overnighting parts, and they're all getting lost with FedEx and UPS right now. So I actually overnighted another one with Saturday delivery. I'm trying to make it. I really wanted to go to the Penwell race as well. But anyways, I'll quit rambling. Let's get to work on the car. And that's another transmission on the ground. We got a special guest!
I only work on Mustangs.
Oh. So yeah, he's gonna buzz that apart real quick. We are changing stator. Probably can't hear because he's being noisy. And here we are. Dave, what is all this?
These are spinner rims.
So, yes, part of no prep racing is stators hung converters for most people. So when you're no prep racing, the amount of power you're putting down is significantly less than radial racing. So you also short shift, the track is not as good, so you can't rev out the combos high and shift as high. So you're short shifting, just tons of variables. You need it to flash higher in low gear and not grab as much, because the more it grabs in low gear, it's just going to blow the tires off. So you need it to flash higher, get out of the torque, high RPMs, high RPM, and high horsepower, high RPMs, no torque. So yes, stator change is what I'm doing. Old stator, new stator, just doing a quick change. It's actually a pretty significant change, but it's needed for no prep racing. Dave, what do you think about me going no prep racing?
It's a really pretty car to be going no prep racing.
Yeah, true that.
I'm not a fan, but that joke comes from no prep, so he knows what he's doing.
I do, yeah. So here's, I don't know too much about converters. People could probably tell you more. This is a Hughes bolt-together converter. So normally you would have to send your converter off or have a second converter handy to switch back and forth between radial racing and no prep racing. I have a bolt-together, so I can take the two halves apart myself and just swap the stators out, and then I'm ready to go no prep racing. So we're gonna get this changed out, get the transmission back up, and on to the next task. Transmission is back up. I think I am getting a little too good at doing that transmission, but it is what it is. So stator in, converters in, transmission's in. On to the next item, which is front suspension. This is set up for radial racing. Caster camber plates, springs, ride height, everything is set up for not a lot of front end travel and really tight radial racing. So I have some different springs, I have some different caster camber plates, so I changed all this up to do no prep style racing. So I'll kind of show you as I go through and get it done. First things first, got to take the spring out and take it all apart. One side done, so you can tell this spring looks a lot different, a lot less coils, less rate to it. And then the caster camber plates changed out. It changes where the shock location, mounting location is up top. I just made these a while back. I couldn't really find something off the shelf that was gonna do what I did, so I just kind of made it. And I worked with Sandhuff. That's their struts, shocks. He helped me kind of design that and what to do and how to get it. But you can tell, I'll show you, it's kind of hard to just see how much lower this is versus the other side, but you can look at like the limiter. This limiter, you know, controls front end movement. Well, it's like all the way through the limiter and almost out. And that side is fully down. This side is fully down, but look how many holes are left on the limiter. Like there's several holes left. It equates to about 2.5 to 3 inches of more travel on the front suspension. I measured from like the middle of the axle to the floor. This side is 24.5 inches off the ground. This side is 22. So it's quite a bit lower. I don't know if you'll be able to tell that. Let me try to hold this real still. And then come over here and see how much higher that is. It's a big difference. And look what finally showed up. All week, I've been trying to get a stupid alternator for this thing, and I've been having the hardest time. Finally, got it in. We're moving along. I'm gonna finish up this front suspension, do this side, get the alternator put on, and then I'll bring y'all back for the next piece. The next part of going fast, wait. Sounds, someone's at the garage. We'll check in with them in a little bit. Anyways, the weight is the key to going fast. I know it sounds opposite, but in no prep, you got to get a lot of weight on the rear of the car. So I got a bunch of lead here. I strategically placed it around the car. Sorry, not gonna tell you how much lead or where I put it. Also, another piece that I'm doing back here is bar angles. So for radial racing versus no prep racing, you kind of change what the angles are of the control arms, upper and lower control arms. So I'm gonna be going through and adjusting those as well to hopefully make it hook up better. No prep and radials are really tough, so you kind of do what all you can to get it done. So I'm gonna hang some of this weight in strategic locations and then on to the next piece. Let's see who's checked in with us. Who's out there?
Hey, I knocked on the door and you said, hey, we'll check in later.
Well, here's later. I'm checking in with you. What are you doing, Dave? Why are you outside?
Whoa, confidential information.
Oh, yeah, no, his channel doesn't know he's got a motor yet. This is great.
You see the LS? It's got one cam now.
Yeah, because when's your engine video going live?
Tomorrow.
Oh, okay. You'll probably beat me.
Oh, we're good. We're good.
You're good. He's good then. Go check out Streetcar Joe's channel. Oh, I mean, Dave's channel.
Pretty much both.
That front end looks really nice.
Yeah,
Who did that?
Look at them welds.
Them welds. Spicy.
Yeah,
This looks really good, Dave.
You should have done a video on it.
I should have done a video on it. I think it's on your channel, right? I don't
Should
know.
have done like a how-to chop off your front end on a brand new car and weld it up.
That would have been a good thumbnail and a good title.
Yeah. Comment down below if you guys want to see the podcast.
Ooh.
We got a podcast coming.
We're waiting on you, buddy.
Waiting on my studio.
Waiting on you. Back here adjusting the suspension. I also put on my dual fans. They're back on the car. I had them off for the winter time. It just gets so cold out. The dual fans cool too much, but we got to make a cruise tomorrow for the street class, so I got my dual big fans on there, and I'm just adjusting the springs back here. These were all the way down almost, just all the weight I got on the car. I need to up the springs. I started it. Converter is good. New alternator is good. That's a big plus as well. So I'm just adding transmission fluid and kind of going through everything, checking all the fluids over. I am about to start a couple more times, make sure everything's good, and then I'll be putting it on the ground and start setting the ride height to get the ride height where I want it. And we're getting really close. I mean, like 12, 14 hours worth of work, no big deal. We're also watching a little bit of drag racing. They are down in Penwell this weekend. Racing. I wanted to go to that race. Parts didn't get here in time. We're going racing tomorrow. Okay, it looks good. The ride height needs to be adjusted. It's sitting a little high. I need to go through and adjust it. But other than that, everything looks good. Pretty happy with it. We're just about ready to load it up. All right, that's a wrap. All done. Car's loaded up. We're ready to go. So that is everything it takes to get a car ready for sketchy track, no prep racing. It's a lot of work, it really is. I just spent a long time setting the ride height and anti-roll bar and getting all that perfect. I didn't really get much footage of that. I was running out of time. But you can see it's a lot of work to convert a car from radial prep to no prep. Would I have done that for one race? It's hard to say, but I am racing sketchy track or no prep racing for the next like 2 months. So easy decision. I need to convert it over. Gonna be like this for a while. But yeah, so here we are, loaded up. We're leaving in a few hours and we get just a little bit of sleep and then we're out of here. Racing starts pretty early because it's on a Sunday. So hopefully, yeah, we're back at a decent time. Hopefully we get a lot of good footage, some daytime racing. So yeah, it should be good videos. Looking forward to it. Wish us luck. We'll see you in the next one.